Hey Simmers, welcome to Sims 101, your crash course for The Sims 4. In our building video, you learned a few keyboard shortcuts, and I thought you might find it useful going forward to learn even more. So today I'm going to teach you everything you need to know to navigate the game faster, no matter what your playing style is. So grab a cuppa, fire up the Sims, and let's get simming. So we're going to kick things off with the general keyboard shortcuts. These are your trusty companions because they work in both build by and gameplay modes. The first one is your escape key. Pressing the escape key will automatically open the main menu UI. You can just press escape on your keyboard at any given time to open the menu. The next one is pressing tab. Tab will put you into the free cam mode. Now this used to be a gameplay only feature, but the Horse Ranch expansion pack added this feature to build by as well. If you want a full video on how to control your camera, our next video in this series will fully walk you through the camera controls, so please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on that video when it comes out. The next one is when you're in build mode or gameplay mode. You can use the W, A, S, and D keys to move your camera around. The WASD keys are widely used in games to control what your camera is looking at or what your character is moving towards. However, for The Sims, you can also control the camera with the arrow keys on your keyboard. If you're using free cam mode, you can also use these to control the camera. You can use the Q and E keys when you're in free cam mode to move the cameras down and up, and these are extremely handy camera controls. Next, whether you're in build by mode or gameplay mode, you're going to want to put the walls up and down or move to the floor above or below at some point in time. If you use the home key, you put the walls up, and if you use the end key on your keyboard, the walls come down. This goes in increments, so if you press the end key twice, they will go fully down, and pressing the home key twice, the walls will go fully up. If you want to switch floors, then you'll want the page up and page down buttons. If you press page down on your keyboard, you will go down a floor. If you press page up, you will go up a floor. This is great for when you're building or gameplaying and you easily want to swap between the floors that you're working on. If you want to copy an item, such as a room, and put it on the next floor, you can copy the item like I just did, and while holding the item, click the page up button and simply paste it on the floor above. Now, this is a feature that myself and a lot of builders really love to use to speed up the building process. It makes it easier to copy things from a lower floor to an upper floor or the other way around. So let's dive into more camera magic. You can use the Z button, or Z button if you're American, to zoom in, and the X key to zoom out. This works both in gameplay and build by mode. If you press the C key, it will take a screenshot. If you want to take an in-game video, you can press the V key, and you'll see this yellow border around the screen. If you want to stop recording the video, you can press the V key again, and you'll see the border goes back to red as it currently is because I've got the game paused. When you finish recording the video, it tells you in the notification wall where the video has been saved to. Be aware that it records the video as an AVI file, so if you want to put the video into any video editing software or share it, you will need to convert it over to .mov or MP4 format in order to do that. Personally, I don't tend to use the in-game video recorder because it tends to lag the game and can cause issues like crashes and so on, but in case you want to try it for yourself, I'm telling you about it. We've covered the general shortcuts. Now let's rev up our gameplay with some essential gameplay keyboard shortcuts. Now we're going to start off with controlling the game speeds. There are a couple of different keyboard shortcuts that you can use to do this. So the first one that you can use is, for me, it's the P key. For some of you, it might be the tilde key to swap between pause and play. If you want to set the game speed, you can set 1 to set the speed to normal speed. And if you press the pause key again, remember it's either the P key or the tilde, you can press the 1 key on your keyboard to restart the game. If you press the 2 key, it will automatically go to 2 arrow speed, and 3 will automatically go to the fastest speed. Another key that you can use to pause the game is the 0 key. I don't know why they've given us so many different keys with which to pause the game, but there we go. So you can use that if you want to as well. You can also use the 1, 2, 3, and 0 keys on your numpad to change the game speeds or pause your game. Pressing R on your keyboard will automatically bring up the relationship panel for the active sim. If you press Y, it brings up their simology panel, which is where you'll find information about their trait, relationship preferences, milestone, their lifestyle, public image, neighborhood action plans, and so on. If you press I, this automatically takes you into your Sims inventory. If you press the O key, this takes you to the Needs tab. I am not sure why the O key is the one for needs, but whatever. If you want to see their aspiration and how they're doing, if you want to go to the reward store for their aspiration points, or check their soul's journey, you want to press the G key, and pressing it again will close the tab. The J key takes you to your active Sim's career tab. Your active sim is a child, it takes them to their school tab. If you press L, then it goes to their skills. If you quickly want to swap between active sims, for instance, if you're checking everyone's needs, you can use the spacebar to just scroll through the next available sim. This is a lot faster than using your mouse to go down here to click individually on each sim, and if you have side scrolling on, it keeps you from accidentally scrolling down in your game. If you use the comma or the period keys, you can rotate your camera. If you want to swap between your active household and the map view, you can press M on your keyboard, and it will automatically bring you to Manage Worlds. Now, this is annoying when you accidentally click it, but it does allow you to travel with your active household. It doesn't really bring you to Manage Worlds, but instead just allows you to travel with your household. So like if I were to click on the Pancakes residence, you'll see here it gives me a button here to confirm that I want to travel. If you ever want to cancel the travel, just hit this X button here to do so. Now that we've covered the gameplay keyboard shortcuts, let's go into build by keyboard shortcuts. So we're going to start with the function keys, and F1 swaps to live mode when you have build mode selected through an active family. This will not work if you are in free build mode. If you're in free build mode, when you press F1, it brings you to Manage Worlds view where you can start playing with a household. If you're in live mode and you want to go back to build mode or go to build mode, you can press F2. So as a shortcut, just remember F1 goes to live mode, F2 takes you to build mode. These do work, of course, if you're in gameplay as well. So if you're in build mode and you press F2, then you go into buy mode. When you first go into build mode, the image down here is of this house. Pressing F2, the image changes to things that you can buy for your house. If you click F3, then you go back into build mode. So you can toggle between the two, obviously using F2 and F3. If you're in gameplay mode, by clicking F1 and you click F3, then it takes you directly into build mode. So let's turn on the grid. And I'm going to quickly grab the shower. If you place something, you can place it on half tiles like this, right? Each square here, each solid square, is a tile, and the dotted lines are your half and quarter tiles. 2 of these little squares here is a half tile, and 1 is a quarter tile. So you can place something on half tiles without holding Alt keys or cheating anything, that is. If you press F5 on your keyboard, this will let you place on quarter tiles. Not just quarter tiles, you notice that it's actually letting me place in the quarter tiles. So it's basically cutting the quarter tiles in half as well. This is good for if you want to do some precise placement without holding the Alt key and without having bb.moveObjects or anything enabled. So if you're building and you use the 9 and 0 key, let's use this laundry basket as an example. So if you use your 9 and 0 keys, you can raise things up and lower things down. To do this, you do need to put the Move Objects cheat on. So it's Control-Shift-C to bring up the cheats console and then type in bb.moveobjects, then hit enter. You'll see Move Objects cheat is on. Control-Shift-C to turn off your cheats console. You grab your item, 9 key moves the item up, and the 0 key moves the item down. So if you've ever seen someone place clutter without placing things on a shelf or on a table, and they raise it up and place it on something like so, this is how they do that. Again, remember, you do need the bb.moveObjects cheat on in order for the 9 and 0 keys to work. So if you place something and you want to copy it, you can use the E key, and you'll notice that when I click the E key on my keyboard, the eyedropper tool on my cursor becomes visible. If you press your R key, you get the design tool, which is the little color sample thing there, or icon there. You can click an item and cycle through the swatches of that item. If you want to go back to your regular tool, then you can either click on that key again or click the H key, which will take it to the default hand tool. So if you're frustrated with this grid and you don't want to see it because it's in the way or it's just annoying you, which happens a lot, then you can press the G key on your keyboard to toggle the grid off and on. If you want to view your build from the top, you can do that by clicking on the T key on your keyboard. And if you press T again, it automatically swaps back to your original view. So this is a great way for you to quickly toggle between what you can see from above and what you can see from the normal camera angle. If you're on a lot and you want to move the entire build, you can press the Y key on your keyboard, and it automatically opens up this mode here where you can move the entire build. So if you start building something and you want to move what you've done, press the Y key, click the move button there, and it allows you to move the lot wherever you want it. If you want to move just the house, then you can press the U key and then click your build and move just that around. Now keep in mind, things like fences and stuff will not move with the house when you do it this way. So if you move the house over any fences, and the fences will just get deleted. Now my advice is that you use the U key if you've only built the shell, and use the Y key if you've put anything else on the lot in addition to your building. So you can use the square bracket keys to size things down or size things up. So if you feel like something is too small, then you can use the close bracket keys to size it up. And items can get really, really big, so be careful when using this. You can use the open brackets to size it back down. Now, like I said, you need to be very careful, because if you do make something too large, it does have a tendency to fly off of the map. So you'll notice that the item is nowhere to be seen, but if you place it down just like that, it shows back up again. So just be mindful of that. So this is a great way to change the size of things without using a complicated mod like Twisted Mexie's tool mod, which is an awesome mod, but it can be very difficult to learn. So if you're using the wall tool, you can hold Control to delete a wall. So let's say I don't want this wall. Click the Control key, move the cursor over the wall, and simply slide the cursor over the wall, and you'll see it's kind of highlighted there. Remove your finger off of your mouse button. The wall is deleted. There's a keyboard shortcut for the sledgehammer tool as well, which is the K key. So next is changing the time of day. As I've covered in a previous video, you can go up here and click this to change the time of day. You can also do it on your keyboard, and that is the L key. and the L key allows you to shuffle through all of the different times of day. Now this is useful for when you're building and you want to see how your build looks during the different times of day, or if you need more light when you're building, or if you need the light from a different angle. Now it does not advance time in live mode, so you don't have to worry about how much you use it in build mode. So if you're placing an item and you use your shift key to place it, it automatically copies the item. So if you want to place multiple of something, just hold the shift and you can continue to add as many of the items as you want. Once you place your last item, let go of the shift key, place the last item, and there you go. If you want to place an item and you click Alt while clicking on the item, you can free place that item. It no longer snaps to the grid. Let me just bring the grid back on and I'll show you. Without the Alt key, you'll notice that the item is snapping to the grid. With the Alt key, I can move it wherever I want. Now, you do need to have bb.move objects enabled for this to work. And with this enabled, you'll also be able to place your item using Alt inside of other items. Now, if you want to quickly access the wall tool because you want to draw an internal wall, for example, you can press the B key, that's B for Bravo, and it will automatically bring up the wall tool. So like I said earlier, you can use the comma and the period key to rotate your camera. This works in build mode as well. However, if you're holding an object, these keys will allow you to rotate the object instead of moving the camera. If this is not precise enough for you, you can switch to the Sims 3 camera, which is right here. Then when you're holding the item, hold your Alt key. You can drag your mouse to do even more precise rotation. If you're using a wall paint, then you can either hold Shift to paint the entire room or Alt to paint a single wall. If you're wanting to put flooring in, then you can hold Shift to automatically fill the entire room. If you're placing terrain paint and you realize that that is not the terrain paint that you want, then you can hold down your control button on your keyboard and paint back over it, and it automatically goes into the eraser tool, which allows you to erase that terrain paint, and it goes back to default. When you're building in The Sims, you can use your backspace key to move something into the household inventory. You see there, that basket is now in my inventory. If you no longer want the item, you can click on the delete key to delete the item. So moving items to the household inventory only works if you're not in free build mode. If you're in free build mode, there is no household inventory because it's free build. If you have a numpad on your keyboard, you can use the plus and minus key to switch through swatches when you want to place an item. So if I go into objects, let's go into tubs, put down this tub, then there we go. Plus and minus will cycle through all of the different swatches, either up or down the swatch tables. Now, when you grab an item and you realize that that is not the item that you want to place, you can press your escape key to quickly let go of that item before you place it. Now, there's a couple of keyboard shortcut notifications that I want to show you next. You have to press multiple keys at once to do a certain action with these. Some of these are gameplay related, some are generic. I'm going to walk you through them, so don't worry. Now, the first one is if you're in gameplay mode and if the camera is away from your lot. So let's say if the camera is over here and you quickly want to go back to your own house, you can press Shift and Enter, and that will center the camera back onto your active lot. If you press Control-Shift-C, then that brings up the cheat console, just up here on the upper left corner. And this is where you enter all of your cheats, such as the bb.moveObjects cheat that I showed earlier. If you're in build mode, you can use features like Control-Z and Control-Y to undo and redo actions. So let's say I extend this wall over here, and I decide I don't want to do that. I can just hit Control-Z, and it puts the wall back to how it was before. And then let's say I decide, you know what? Nope, I've changed my mind. I actually want this wall to go across. So just Control Y, and that will redo it. If you're a person who tends to switch between the Sims 4 and Sims 3 cameras, there is a keyboard shortcut for that as well. Press Control, Shift, and Tab. Now personally, I have a Stream Deck. There's a button on my Stream Deck that I've set up that automatically puts me into either Sims 4 or Sims 3 cameras. This means that I don't have to memorize this keyboard shortcut, or any keyboard shortcut really, and contort my fingers to press 3 keys at the same time. For me, this is quicker. It takes a bit of setup, but once it's all set up, it's just one single button press and boom, you're done. Now, I do have a video showing how to program a Stream Deck for Sims 4 cheats and keyboard shortcuts. I'll link it below for you in the video description if you think it'll be useful. So if you are in build mode and you press Control F, you can place on these quarter tiles, just like pressing F5. Another thing is if you have a floor tile and you press Control F, then this allows you to place quarter tiles as well, which means you can make your own floor patterns if you want to. The last shortcut that I've got for you right now is specific to build mode as well. If you have a roof, let's just plop one here real quick, and you click on it, you can see these little spheres that allow you to control the curve of the roof. If you select a roof and press Shift-C, this gives you more of these spheres, which allow you to control the curvature even more, as you can see here. If you want to do a build that has really detailed roofing, then this shortcut is going to be your best friend. And my friends, that is a wrap on our Sims 4 keyboard shortcut deep dive. Let me know if there are any keyboard shortcuts that I missed, because there are so many of them, I probably have missed one or two, or put your favorite emote in the comments to let me know that you enjoyed the video. If you're struggling to remember all of these keyboard shortcuts, don't worry, I've made a little cheat sheet just for you. I'll put a download link to it in the description box below. Feel free to download it or bookmark it so that you can refer to it whenever you need to. Thank you so much for attending today's class on Sims 4 keyboard shortcuts, and special thanks to my paid members who help make long series like this possible. If you missed my previous build mode video, you can check it out just over there.